Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Guys, DICE might have cooked a little bit here, alright? We've known Galmud Railway is coming to the game for a long time, and the commentary surrounding it has just been like, yeah, Galmud, great. It's gonna be a vehicle map, it's a big map. They're adding it because people want large maps to the game. But I don't really think anyone was really expecting this to be an infantry map. I mean, how could you? I've seen so many people in my comment section say that they're not even going to bother playing Galmud Railway at all because it's just not going to be the type of map they enjoy playing. But DICE came out with a new community post detailing everything they did to Galmud Railway, and I think in part they did this to just show people how much they actually reworked the entire map. And guys, I gotta be honest, they might have fucking cooked. Like, they might have made Galmud playable for infantry, or at least significantly more enjoyable than it was before. So let's start going over stuff and see how DICE might have done the impossible with Galmud Railway. So if you enjoy the channel, be sure to hit the like button, hit the sub button, check out everything on my second channel, that'll be in the description. And guys, if you didn't know, all of my YouTube content will now also be posted on Spotify. That link will be in the description. Drop my Spotify channel a follow. It's just another way for people to have like more options to watch my content. All right, so in the post, they give us a lot of pictures for Galmud Railway, and the first thing I actually want to take a look at is this big overview of Galmud itself. We'll go over some individual areas and talk about them in more detail in a second, but I want to cover one really interesting point. So you see this train right here in the center of the map. This is a big famous feature of Galmud Railway, and typically, if let's say your HQ is here, right, and you capture the train, the train would actually just go to your HQ. Right? But the change they made this time is if you capture the train will actually go to the enemy HQ, which is really interesting because the enemies will probably capture it faster, then it will be sent from their HQ back towards the center of the map, and of course the train will be most likely captured within this center area. And the reason why they're doing this is to incentivize fighting and improve map flow. So if you think about it, there's going to be a lot more train fighting. And if you look at the areas here, it's essentially just a straight line of flow. So the infantry combat is mostly going to be in this big area up here, fighting for the train as well. But you can see the flow, right? People are going to be moving up here and also moving down here while trying to capture the train as well. So this is really going to improve the flow of Galmud Railway. I actually really am interested to see how this simple train change actually improves gameplay. And then we can just take a look at some of the individual areas here, and maybe I'll put other screenshots up. So obviously this building here was never in the previous version of Galmud Railway. It's this big fenced-in area that gives a point of interest between the train tracks. I think this is the C flag here, and then of course this flag down here. The overall layout really hasn't been changed that much. This flag is still a thing down here, so is this flag, so is this flag. So you still have that like anchor shape here, and they actually mention the anchor shape. If you look, the way the flags are set up, it is going to be that sort of anchor flow. In terms of what they've done to the map, though, it looks like there's a ton more infantry cover. So first of all, there are a shit ton more trees in this area, which is going to make just traversing the area as infantry a lot easier. It also looks like they've made multiple terrain adjustments. And of course, the biggest thing is this entire upper area. They've redesigned the city portions with way more buildings, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I'm not sure the type of buildings they're using are going to be ideal, but there's a lot more buildings here, and they've completely changed this side of the map here. It seems to be this like really burned down field area with a lot of terrain undulation that stretches all the way down from the north of the map to almost in front of one of the HQs right here. So that's cool. And then keep in mind, guys, escalation is going to be a game mode on this map. So the flow is going to be getting condensed a lot, which means that I would be willing to bet a lot of the time escalation will end in this infantry portion of the map, which is good for infantry players, but also potentially bad because there are, of course, going to be a shit ton of vehicles on Galmud Railway default, and then escalation just amplifies that more and more. But overall, they've really reworked Galmud Railway in a way that I wasn't really anticipating. And keep in mind, the out of bounds lines, guys, are going to be, more like this now. So it's going to be like less of a width. So they're going to squish the action in. They're going to focus on keeping the action towards the center of the map by making sure the train is constantly getting captured, back and forth that way. And they're going to make sure the flow stays up and down in this center area. That is, in my opinion, their grand master plan. They go on to say in the post that some original designers of the Battlefield 4 Galmud Railway are still working with them, and they give us some before and afters here. First of all, I just have to point out, my God, Galmud Railway from Battlefield 4 looks so dated. Like, I hate that Battlefield 4 is aging like this because it just reminds us how long it's been since we've had like a full-fledged proper Battlefield title. Doesn't it just make you sick? But anyway, this is a before and after comparison of the city area. As you can see on the Battlefield 6 version, there is just a lot more density here. And I think there's a lot more verticality, which can actually be a double-edged sword in my opinion, because you see on the Battlefield 4 version, there really aren't buildings that go up to a potential 4th floor. It's only 2nd floor, and then the roof is an exposed 3rd floor, and only on some buildings. Whereas on the Battlefield 6 version, you can see there are like a parking structure building, and then some other buildings that have potential 3rd and 4th floor being like roof access. So a ton of verticality, a ton of windows shoved in a really, really small place. That does worry me just for like ratting purposes. But I do think the theoretical improved flow and also the improved destruction of Battlefield 6 in comparison to BF4 is going to offset a lot of these things. And then they also have a comparison for a southern part of the map showing that new point of interest between the train tracks and the southernmost flag. You can see before there was just a little tiny shack below this power station. I don't know what you want to call it. The power tower, the tower of power, if you will. But now it's this big fenced-in area. It's probably a RedSec asset, to be honest. They just dropped on the map. But I think it provides a great point of interest that does improve map flow and just gives people some more cover from all of the vehicles. So, I don't know, guys. They might actually have improved Galmud Railway enough to where it isn't an immediate back out as soon as I see it pop up on my screen, which is genuinely something to be impressed over. However, there is still one massive, giant potential problem, and it is the fact that if they don't improve the vehicle gameplay alongside the release of Galmud Railway, well, it's just not going to be that great, is it? Because a lot of people do play Galmud for the vehicles, and I think it is well established at this point that the vehicle experience in Battlefield 6 just isn't really where it should be right now. Every single day I go on Twitter, I have Silk, who is another, YouTuber. He's a great vehicle player. Silk is constantly asking for like the PLD to be nerfed and the target designator and air radar and all this stuff. And it is insane to me that we've gone this long into the launch of Battlefield 6, and some vehicles don't even have basic necessities like air radar. In my opinion, that's something that should really be added in a fucking hotfix at this point. Like, dude, vehicles need it just to have basic, decent gameplay. So we shall see how Season 3 is going to shape up here. Obviously, alongside Galmud Railway, they're going to be adding a remake of Grand Bazaar, so a double remake drop for content. Let me know what you think about that particular thing. I know some people are a little pissed off that they're remaking 2 maps and not having 2 brand new maps. Some people don't value remakes as much as new content, and I definitely can understand that. So let me know your thoughts about all this stuff, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the channel, be sure to sub, hit the like button, check out the second channel where I talk about my hobby and all that. And be sure to drop the Twitch channel and Spotify channel a follow. Would really appreciate that as well. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you guys in the next video.